I remember thinking to myself, oh, I'm going to ministry school, and wow, Judy should be going. She should just be going, because I just, thought she was, I just had kind of met her. I hadn't really, known her, a long, long time at the time. But I always knew, that it could be dynamic. I knew that it could be a dynamic team that we could do. I could do a lot alone, but I knew that together we could do more. And I think that's kind of a metaphor, because together we could all do more, more if there's more of us. So I wanted to just say that there is a reason for everything in your life that's going on. There's a reason in my life. There's a reason for every little thing that happens. And like, I have to kind of laugh, because I'm always telling my kids that, and they're going, Mom, there's not a reason for everything. There's not a lesson, in everything, because I'm always telling them that there's lessons. And I really, truly, truly believe that sometimes, we don't know what it is. We can't figure out why stuff is going on. But honestly, in the universe, it swirls around, and eventually we find out, that everything is in order. That even in the chaos, there's this order to the universe, and we're part of that. That our life is really shaped by all of these synchronistic moments, by all of these meaningful coincidences. Sometimes we can't figure them out, but our life is shaped by them. And that there are signs, there's all sorts of clues that we can get if we're open to it. We have a choice how we're going to handle that in life. But no matter, this is important, no matter what we're going through in our life, the universe supports us. It supports us in it. That we live in a benevolent universe that knows, and it supports us through anything that we're going through. It's almost like, I was thinking about if you cut your finger, your body heals it. Well, we're part of the universe. When we're in crisis, the universe does support. We might not understand how, and it might not feel really good, but you are part of a dynamic process, and the universe supports us to our good, always to our good, even though, we can't see it sometimes, because there are miracles in everything around us. Miracles if we have the eyes to see it, if we just open to it. And there's guidance through our tuition, there's guidance for us. How do we follow the guidance? See, guidance is a process, and I know that, it starts at the beginning by just seeing, is this, what's going on, this is just lucky, this is just lucky. That's the first thing we think. How many times have you done that? Boy, he's a lucky guy, Oh, this was kind of luck. I have the luck of the draw. That's the first stage of guidance. And then there's the middle. This is Deepak Chopra. This is what he says. And then the middle of guidance says, wow, let me question this a little bit. Is there something bigger than me that could be guiding what's going on in my life right now? Is there something bigger? And then finally, we get to the end, and we have basic human trust. We just trust that everything works together. Everything works together, and we just know it. Even if we're in crisis, even if we're jumping for joy, everything is working together for our good. We trust what the ancient Hindus used to call the Upa Guru inside. See, what it means is inside, the guru inside of us. We trust that because we know that that Upa Guru is the divine inside of each and every one of us that has the intelligence and the wisdom, has every quality that you can imagine of God inside of you. And all we need to do is relax into the stillness and find it. I think this is so interesting. I always, when I read stuff, I don't know if you do this, but I see it sometimes in picture. And I was reading, our soul steps down God, the human level, which gives God the appearance of being mortal. You know what? And I was thinking about that. I mean, that's huge. That means, this is what the ancient rishis used to say, that God, this whatever you think of God, is this creative intelligence, is inside of us, and it's our soul opens the doors and lets us be God. Do you understand that? You know what I'm saying? That God is in us. It steps down God, so that God is mortal. So that means I'm God, you are God, a piece of God, not all of God. But we each have the piece of God in us. So when we look at each other, we're seeing God. I love that because I just see the energy coming through and us being human, but really we're divine. And if we're divine, that means that we have the power and this incredible presence inside to do anything in life and to know what we need to do. You know, we have a choice. We can half-heartedly believe in synchronicities, you know, and clues and say, yeah, you know, that's okay. Or we can make the choice to listen to that Upa Guru inside. We can make the choice, you know, in the moment. And Deepak Chopra says, we got to get off the fence, see? And just say, oh, it might be a clue, this might be, you know, it's something. Or really know, you know, really believe in basic human trust. Have that inside. Yes, it's God. Yes, this is the path. I'm on it and I believe. Do you believe? I used to get that when I was in Fundamentalist. You know, just, do you believe? But really, what I take that now is, not do I believe out there, do I believe that I have the power and the love and the kindness and the wisdom to see life as it is and to have basic human trust. You know, that's what I believe, is that we have to get off of the fence to do it. See, that we are here at the right time, at the right place. There's no accidents. For everything in your life to occur right now, all of the presenting circumstances that you need to evolve in your life are right here, right now. So whatever you're going through, it's okay. It's perfect for your next step to evolve. That's what everything is about, evolution of your soul. That's why you're here. That's the whole reason that we're here, is to be able to connect with something bigger. So all of the circumstances that you're going through right now, it's okay. It's perfect, and everybody's is different. You know, and there'll be a time in your life when everything's great. There's a time when everything sucks. You know, it's the truth. And what we have to do is know that it's all God. Rico, we're working with his book, Judy talked about it, says that miracles happen if we open the unopened door of our soul. So as I was thinking about that, I think on last week sometime I was thinking the unopened door of our soul. And I was thinking of that energy, if I just closed my eyes, you know, and thought there was a little closed part of my soul. And if I just opened it, so I kept thinking, close my eyes, open the door to my soul, you know, open the door to my soul so that I can see. And all of a sudden, I heard upstairs, Mama, open the door. I swear to God. And it was my little granddaughter, Lily, upstairs telling her mom to open the door. Okay, Judy talked about sometimes, you know, that has meaning. If it happened any other time, it probably wouldn't have had meaning. But right at that moment, you know, I'm going, oh, open the door. She's up there saying, open the door. That's what I'm talking about. Everybody's got all of these synchronicities going in their life. They could all tell us different stories about what goes on in their life, about how two disconnected events can be related. But they are, and we give it the meaning. You know, how can I be thinking, I've told this story before, but it always blows my mind. How can we be thinking, I'll be in my car, and I was thinking of Fred, who my husband died 4 years ago, and I remember going, oh, you know, where is he? What's he doing? How's he feeling? Next thing I do, I see a license plate that says, I am fine. F-Y-N-E. It must have been somebody's name, I am fine, maybe the name or something like that. But I'll never forget that, and I'm going, wow. Now at the moment, I don't know if I went, you know, it was that just, oh, that's just a you know, chance. It wasn't. You know, it wasn't chance. But we hear about these all the time. I got to tell your story about, Chuck told me the other day, and Judy. They went to Las Vegas, right? And I might get this wrong, but you'll get the gist of it a little bit. So I think somehow that Judy told Chuck, you know, through, I don't know, a tarot card or something, I don't know what it was, that was it, but she said, now when you go gamble, you know, make sure that you look for owls. Look for owls, because she pulled a tarot card that had an owl on it. So he looked all around, he went to different casinos, different places, and he didn't see any owls anywhere. So he goes up to his room, and he says, ah, it doesn't work, you know. Looks out his window, and he sees Hooters across the street. Okay, Hooters, if you don't know, has another logo than you think about, but it's owls, right? It's owls. So he goes over there, and he wins, I think, $500 is what he said. So I mean, I don't know if the universe wanted you to have $500. Maybe that's a little stretching it, but maybe it was the signs, you know, just to let you know. You know, and then I'm thinking, I was going to tell the story too about Diane that Judy told too, but it was your mother, right? You said the prayer, you know, let Mom, you know, take care of Hannah for me, you know, the little dog, her little dog who just died. And then the t-shirt had her mom on it, the lady that looked just like your mom, and Hannah. So, you know, we have all of these coincidences in your life. I know you can think about them. And I know what's going to happen when you leave here today, because it always does, is that you're going to be thinking about now these coincidences, these meaningful synchronicities in your life, and you're going to see them. So what you need to do is just be open, be really open to them, so that they can guide you, and they will. They will guide you, you know, if you believe. You've got to get off the fence, is what he says. that the universe, see, we're part of the universe, and the universe communicates with itself, right? So we're just a leg of it. We're just a piece of it. We weren't placed here like you might have been told it's in creation. You grew through the universe, and we're all connected. And I can see how these signs, you know, we're energy beings. I always say that, we're energy beings. And if we are, that means that we are connected on this vibratory level, you know, that wherever we are, if we're high vibration, we start to see things that nobody else sees. If we're lower, we don't. You know, here's what, I want to read this to you, what Deepak says, because it's huge. Each of us is connected to the field of infinite intelligence that endlessly creates all of the physical forms in the world. Okay? When we awaken to the true nature of creation, we become aware of the eternal patterns and the rhythms that govern life. We also realize that the universe is constantly sending us messages in the form of serendipitous events. In fact, we're completely immersed in a web of coincidences that guide us to fulfill our purpose, always. So what's your purpose in life? Your purpose is whatever you're doing right now, and to do it with presence and consciousness. You might have another outer purpose, but that's your primary purpose, is to know who you are, and to know that we're connected. It's like, this is what we use on Indra's Net. If everybody, if you're new here, Indra's Net's huge here, because each of those little jewels is one of us, and it's on a net, and if you pull one into the net, if I went over there and pulled one end, it would vibrate over at the other end. That's what happens in the universe. One thought, you know, one emotion, one action vibrates all over. You know, that's why there's synchronicities. You have a thought. You know, I gotta open the door to my heart. Open the door. You know, somehow they're connected through this web that he's talking about. You know, the people, the places, and events, all of us, give us what we need to know. It tells us where we need to get. Everything comes together, right? So everything comes to us, every event, every person. There's nobody in your life, whether you want to think so or not, that's, you know, there by accident. They're supposed to be there, you know? And our life is already in process. We're processing it. So what we can do is that we can either step in where we are now and say, okay, I'm going to really believe in synchronicity. I'm going to go for my life, you know, and do this. But the truth is your life is already in process. And we have a choice to join our life, which means that we're going to jump on board with the universe and go with what is, go with the flow, or we're going to step back and we're going to resist life and say, I don't like this. I don't like the situation I'm in. Oh man, this sucks. This is hard, you know? Or we're going to step in and say, okay, what is. It just is. I'm going to go with it, and then I'm going to align with something bigger and watch what happens. See, that's that's what we're made to do, because we're part of the universe. You know, to join life instead of resist it. I think Ken Wilber says, you know, we're evolving, so you might as well jump on board. You got to do it anyway. You're going to go fighting one way or the other. So jump on board with evolution, because of synchronicity is dynamic, so that we can know what's going on in our life. Deepak Chopra calls it synchro destiny. I love that. That's our destiny. He says when we open up and we give attention to what's going on in life, and we make an intention that we're going to be on board with life, that life starts to flow. Our life starts to flow, and we can jump on board with it. And so the Vedic tradition says there's two characteristics of people that are on that path. So think about this in your life. If you're on the path towards alignment, I guess, with spirit, he says, first, that there's a sense of worry that disappears. You're not worried all the time about everything. You know, once that you are starting to be aligned and know that there's, you know, synchronicities, and you know that there's something bigger than you, just stop worrying all the time. And the second thing is that you are aware of all of the clues. You know, you start to become aware of everything. You don't just poo-poo everything. Poo-poo. My mother used to say that all the time. Where did that come from? Does anybody else ever say that? Yeah. Okay, good. But you know, you just don't like this stuff. You know, you go, wow, okay, that's something. That means something. This means something. We start that. So we cultivate this attitude of attention and intention. And when we do, we start to open. You know, we start to see the miracles in our life. We start to see, because everywhere around us is miracles. Everywhere. You know, we start to identify them. We talk about this in Eckhart Tolle all the time, but we start to identify with something bigger than this limited self. Because I know most of us, if you closed your eyes right now and you thought about who you were, you'd see your body, you know, and you would see yourself. But honestly, if we quit identifying with just the body and just who we are, and we see this boundless, infinite, amazing, magnificent person, our lives change, because that's who we are. And when we can start identifying with something bigger and let that move through us, our lives will never be the same. And that's what this whole journey is about. It's about opening to the miracles in our life. Opening to the miracles, because everything is a miracle if you see it that way. So my prayer for you, and my prayer for me, and for all of us, is that we open to the miracles in our life. You know, that we see all of the wonderful synchronicities, that we see each other with kindness, with love, and that we know the truth of who we are. Thank you for listening.